What's that you're breaking up over there?
Gary Payton.
Gary Payton. Gerald. Gary Payton. That's
actually a good one to start.
I was about to say that's perfect to start off my talking point because I know for a fact you didn't buy that Gary Payton in a little eighth bag.
No.
And I am very glad that hype era of eighth weed bags is over. I'm not sure. I'm not saying it's officially over, but I'm hoping it is. And I say that because for like 3 years, 2019 to 2021, like everybody that smokes, even the little bit amount of weed, you know what I mean, like the smallest amount, they were talking about some weed bag or some what bud you got to try. I know that strain. I've had that a few times. You know what I mean, or whatever. And it's like you're hyping up a little bit too much right now.
It really got bad because like, look at, oh my god, I have friends in Brooklyn that did this. Like,
and
they made a living off of just hey, make your money.
Now let me say this. I'm not shitting on any of the weed that came in any of those bags. I'm not saying any of that weed was illegitimate. I'm not saying that at all. But I'm just saying the hype around the weed was just a little bit extra. It was like a sneaker hype.
But I'm saying by the end of that, because in COVID, what was essential? Weed, right?
Oh yeah.
So during the pandemic time, people were bagging up just regular old whatever. It didn't have to be crazy, but it was mid. It was the mids, and I mean, it had good terpene development on it, but it didn't hit. It didn't have a crazy punch to the smell, aroma, taste, nothing. And then they would sell that in Gary Payton bags they ordered on Amazon or bought at their local smoke shop.
Yeah, and you could sell those regular eighths for $45-$50 rather than a $25 eighth. And it's like, yeah, you're not making a whole lot, and you're not fucking that person over really because that's an eighth price somewhere, but not for that. You know what I mean?
Not for that. What?
Yeah, and that's really why it like irked me a little bit, and I would say it helped some people like dive further into the weed and learn more about it, which I did.
Yeah.
And which I can see you did also. And it's like, yo, I want to learn more about how this bud has this flavor. You know what I mean? And that's how we found all the different terpene profiles and all the different beneficial things that those do. So it's like, yeah, one area in that lane from all the hype got me to think a little bit deeper because it was like, yeah, it's so hype, but it's like, why? You know what I mean? And it's like, you find the reasons why. And it's like, yeah, a lot of those strains are well-deserved to be hyped crazy like a motherfucker. That's not the point of this conversation. The point of this conversation is just the hype that the whole community, as everybody, you know what I mean? The guys selling and the guys buying.
It wasn't the hype around just the repackaging or whatever. It's the fact that they were, like, whoever was trying to start that was trying to get the culture of smoking to be like the culture of shoes, and it shouldn't be like that.
Yeah, it's like, yeah.
That was, I think, the, like, baseline comparison.
It tried to become cool to pay $80 for the littlest amount of weed. Like,
that was so stupid.
It's like, well, I know somebody, I could get a whole ounce for $80, and it's actually some really good shit. I'm going to go that way rather than getting just an eighth of some shit for $80. And
if you know growers, you can literally get stuff for dirt. They'll give you shit that's just like, yeah, this is the simplest.
Yeah, just give me $100 and I'll give you all the shit possible. And you look at it, it's like, bro, this is like 3 ounces. You sure? Yeah, give me $100.
Shit. And it's a really good strain that's developing usually.
Right.
You're meeting a really good grower.
Yeah, it just wasn't the big nugs. But yeah, I'm so glad. What are your thoughts on this? Because like I know it helped some people. You know what I mean? Like I said, it helped us learn and it helped want to find like the better things and go into dispensaries. You know what I mean?
I think looking back, like it was a fun era. Like it was cool. Like yeah, there were a lot of good bags. Medellin, Lemonade. That's two of the same brand.
But it definitely got you trying strains that maybe you wouldn't have tried.
The Cotty was awesome. There's so many. You can't really name them all, but I think what was dangerous was that all it meant was a bag now, and it didn't. I think when you judge weed or buds or anything like, but weed in general, it's really down to the aroma. So, like, if I'm gonna buy or not, I want to smell it.
Yeah.
You know, I want to smell it. I know you're probably not gonna let me taste test and smoke it.
And just because something might smell like a lemon doesn't mean that it's fucking lemon cherry gelato shit.
Yeah, see, that was like another popular bag that popped up everywhere. It was like, okay.
And now most things are crossed with lemon cherry gelato. I saw the picture of it was like in the grocery store. Everything is crossed with cranberry juice these days. That's how a lot of the weed industry is with the lemon cherry gelato or just
interesting.
Just the lemons.
I didn't even
flavor at the point right now.
Think about that, yeah.
You know what I mean? Because really, that's the reason why Burner brought off that lemon line. You know what I mean? It was to add the flavors and shit to the smoke.
Yeah, I knew it was a sativa based line too.
But it was like now everybody's really just taking those because I mean the flavors on them are all great.
Shit, one of the greatest products ever.
Like I said, that's not the reason for my argument.
This was one of my favorite products ever. This was it's guava and petilla juice, I believe. Yeah, and
and that shit's actually from a dispensary.
Yeah. Oh, it was so potent, and I think you're supposed to mix it with stuff, and I
just
didn't.
drank it straight.
I was drinking it right out the bottle. One capful put one of our homies right to sleep. Like, it was unreal. Good drink, real good drink.
Yeah,
I mean, but
that era definitely helped companies and brands develop and really make designs and really stick out. And that's what's needed in every industry, you know what I mean? Clothing, people go with silhouettes, and it's like, well, this industry, if everybody's crossing with the same genetics, how are we going to differentiate ourselves? We got to make our bags look different, and you know what I mean?
Exactly. Like,
so it's like, yeah, everybody was making crazy designs and shit.
I have a lot of my bags.
And I'm sure that's still going on, but it's not. But it's not
Shout out to East.
But it's not a crazy street craze no more. You know what I mean? You don't hear everybody talking about, yo, this bag was crazy.
Yeah.
You still see photos and you still see shelves in dispensaries. When you go to the dispensary, you're gonna see bags everywhere. You know what I mean? That's just because that's how. This is the best way to store an eighth that's already pre-bagged is in a bag.
See, that's the other thing though. I don't think so.
But for them, rather than just keeping it in a Ziploc.
Okay. Yeah. No. I agree. But when shit started, when people started to say, it also got dangerous when people were like, yo, the best way to keep it is in a bag. I know people who think the best way to store weed is in a turkey bag. Like, over anything. Just with a humidity pack. And I was like, A, you're not even using the right humidity packs. Don't get the Bovita ones. Because once they dry up, the chemicals come out. So that's a terrible idea.
Yeah.
And then B, like, are we using common sense here? People, it's a turkey bag. No.
34 fucking turkeys.
No. That's not. They don't contain humidity at all. They're a bag. It's a plastic bag. Like, come on.
Yeah. The sea bolts were the best thing to come out after that era. You know what I mean?
Sea bolts are good. Just regular jars are classic.
Yeah, mason jars are a classic.
There's nothing wrong
Never
with a mason
wrong
jar.
with a mason jar.
Mason jar with a humidity pack, even better. Get the white. What are they? What's the brand? I forget. I don't know. White. They look like little fabric. Like softeners actually, like you would throw into your dryer sheets. Dryer sheets, but they do way better than Bovita packs. I'm really blanking on their brand name, but whatever. But yeah, I mean the sea bolts are great. They're a little flashy and expensive, but they're sick. You can store one of them. And they keep. What's it called? I'm about to be a hypocrite right now. I got free Bovita packs, though. That's why I have them in here. You can store them right in the top, and you can put your green right in there. It's amazing. It's a great way to store buds and keep them fresh over time. Obviously, our favorite and most superior way is hand-drip cool cure. That is not a household item. You shouldn't be setting your eyes on that unless you're trying to grow a lot.
Yeah, unless you always have at least, you know what I mean, all your plants to finish your cycle. That's really just if you got a warehouse for your shit, that's pretty cool. If you're a type of like a bunch of office guys who are like you guys pre-roll your blunts, if you got a blunt roller, it keeps the blunts pretty good. But you know what I mean?
If you like to keep cigars somewhere, that's essentially a wine cellar for cigars.
Right.
I keep them in there. It's amazing, just like a humidor.
Yeah.
You can set it to whatever settings you want. That's actually what's better. So
yeah, that's I'm glad that the hype era of the weed is over. But like I said, all those strains Nothing wrong with them. There's nothing wrong with the bags. It's just the hype around them. It was just so unnecessary. You know what I mean? That's literally the reason why I stopped buying shoes in 9th grade, and it was just like, bro, all this hype for I don't need to. This is getting ridiculous.
This is getting What?
This is getting ridiculous. I'm glad I stopped when I did because now Jordans are like fucking $250 for a regular. Like, yo, what the fuck?
How much are AF1s now? They used to be like $90.
They're probably like $150. I don't buy sneakers anymore. You know what I mean? I wear Clarks and boots all day.
I literally wear same pair of Timbs all year until the same time of year every year. I get a new pair. It's called Christmas. But yeah, I am glad that era's over. Speaking of which, I think we're coming to a close in an era which is called hip hop. And the reason I say that, hold on, before you go clicking off this video. Let me explain myself. Now, hip hop is by far, it's at the top right now.
It's, yeah.
By far the biggest music genre in the world. But recently, we've seen some challengers. Bad Bunny really challenged the game.
Yeah.
Bring the Latin cultures into it, which is nice. And I think a lot of people would call him hip hop, but he's not. I think he's got his own type genre.
Yeah, but it is.
Is it hip hop?
In a way.
In a way? I don't know. I don't
It's
listen
just
to him.
Spanish hip hop.
Okay.
It's just not trap shit like it used to be with Nori.
Okay. Oh, so it's hip hop. All right.
It's more pop than hip.
That's what I thought. I was gonna say. I thought it was
that's
more
why
on the pop side.
Because he still raps his ass off on some of the songs. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No.
But then
yeah.
there'll also be a love song where it's like, yo. But that's why he gets compared to Drake a lot because it's like, bro, this guy's rapping.
I take more Drake as a
love
pop
song.
artist.
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying. And that's not hate. That's like, wow, King of Pop, Michael Jackson's amazing. Come on. All right? Like, challenge that throne. Be my guest. Just don't touch any kids while you do it. All right. Was that too soon?
No.
He's
dead. R.I.P. Mike Jack. You tried to come after him when he was dead, man.
I'm sorry.
Can't let anybody rest in peace anymore.
Hey, I'm just making jokes. All right.
I'm not saying you then.
Oh.
They couldn't let him. I'm saying they came after him after he was already dead.
Oh yeah, that's a fact.
You can't let people rest in peace.
I'm warning other people. Right?
Yeah.
We don't need another
No.
repeat of Neverland, whatever the fuck. Anyways, off topic. My point though is I was actually comparing where we are in hip hop right now to where rock and roll was in the early 2000s. So in the early 2000s, let's set the scope, right? There's no, what's it called? No, well, there's cell phones, but there's no iPhone. All right.
Yeah. There's no smartphones.
And you're listening to everything on like MP3 players still, and stereos, and da-da-da. So you're still selling mixtapes.
You're still selling CDs like a motherfucker.
Yes. CDs, mixtapes, whatever they are, right? So then, my point is, the comparison to that would be having a SoundCloud today. If you're a SoundCloud rapper, I'm not shitting on you making music. Chase your dreams. Do what you want to do.
Upload your shit for free, cuz.
But it's essentially like having it's like every white kid who had a band in the early 2000s. And that's a stereotype straight up. But now the thing that I've really seen is people don't like the kids that were making that music. Well, they don't like the music that they were making, at least. Sorry, said that backwards. Because it was essentially just screaming over rock rhythms you've already heard.
Yeah.
Maybe tweaked and what's it called? So how is that any different from someone just screaming on 808s over melodies that have literally already been heard twice? Because jazz, I hate to break it to people, went through a phase where it's like he's kind of just playing like what Elvis and people like that were. Oh, Drake doesn't write his own songs. Oh, Elvis didn't write a lot of his songs. They were already written before and they pre-performed.
Right.
Kid Cudi went through that with a lot of the stuff. And it's just like, okay, but what he did now is great. And we don't deny that. But the point is are we at a downfall? And I'm saying yes.
Yeah, I mean, because a lot of people still count some of the first rappers as the best. You know what I mean? When they count the top 5 rappers of all time, you know what I mean? Biggie and Tupac are there at the top. And they came out at that point where it was like, yo, hip hop is at its most pure. You know what I mean? It was like 20 years in. You know what I mean? We already had some guys, and it was like previously in the late 80s, Eric and Rakim, they really transitioned to like flashy shit. You know what I mean? And in the 90s, guys really just took it to a whole another street shit. You know what I mean? Because NWA introduced the street style, but the East Coast niggas took it to a different level of hard and a different level of rap. You know what I mean? With the Nas, you know, everybody out of New York City.
Yeah.
So it's really hard to try to beat that. You know what I mean? So I feel like, yeah, there's not really many places a lot of people can go. So when you hear a new lane like trap music, and it's only been 3 years of
And
that.
drill too.
But that's essentially the same.
thing.
It's the same thing. It's just like drill beats. You trap music over drill beats. It's kind of it's the same thing.
Because I was also going to say the other issue that I found is everyone says this. Yeah, I mean I don't really like him for his lyrics, but like the beats are fire. It's like everyone's beat is fire. Okay, if your beat isn't fire, then I'm just straight up not listening to your noise.
Yeah.
Okay, like that's not music anymore. Like I hate that excuse too.
Oh yeah.
That's the laziest excuse in the book.
Like, bro, just fucking go listen to some dubstep shit if you want to just listen to some beats.
Skrillex is fire too.
Listen to house music.
Yeah.
But people like got.
They had a time and a place, dog. It's called 2009. Damn.
The house music was like.
Nah, I mean it's still fire.
House music was like the late 2010s.
Yeah,
like
club,
2014,
rave type.
15.
Nice lighting and stuff. Throw some house on. Like, I'm feeling it.
Yeah.
Get a little weird. Give me some shrooms. But like, dog. No, I'm not trying to listen to that. 2 a.m. in the car on the ride home.
No. And
You know?
we still do get young, pure rappers. You know what I mean?
Right. I'm not saying that there's no good rappers anymore.
We know
or
a
there's
lot,
no good SoundCloud
We know a lot of
rappers.
great young people that are, you know what I mean? Great music that's being produced by a lot of the young people that we know. Here and in Maryland. I know a bunch of people that are in Maryland making great music.
Connecticut.
Yeah, Connecticut also. But it's not... That's not... There are, some people aren't a part of that conversation, but some might be. And it's not even really like shitting on them. It's like that's just the style that they found their lane in, because that's what gets the most clicks right now. You know what I mean? So
I guess, yeah.
and in a way, that's why like all like you were saying with the rock. That's why everybody went into like that emo rock shit in the early 2000s, because that's what was popping. You know what I mean? So
this is the other dilemma, though. So rock had the only place where the correlation breaks is rock had hip hop to replace it. There's nothing right now to replace it.
Bad Bunny's filling those shoes. He's doing good.
Pop. So yeah, you think pop just becomes like we go to another pop era, essentially?
We'll just jump into a pop era and then it might jump into some country. Right now, a lot of people are jumping onto some country craze right now.
Oh,
I don't know what that's about.
This is facts, yo. I've heard a lot of my homies throwing on country. Not that I shit on country, but like
I've never listened.
I've never listened to it. It's not my cup of tea.
Maybe I moved out of Maryland too quick because I don't know.
I feel that my mom's always like, "This is your roots." And I'm like, "Okay, but Ma, we live in New York."
My roots is concrete. My roots is no longer farm.
And it's not that I only like hip hop either. I haven't really been listening to hip hop.
I can't tell you.
Right before this, we were just listening to. We had Muddy Waters on. Like,
outside of my brother and his friends, I can't tell you rap that I've listened to that's new. You know what I mean? I can't wait for the Flatbush Zombies guys to release their solo projects, because I want some rap that I fuck with. You know what I mean? Last year was good with I was about to say 1999. With 2000, I love Joey Badass. Joey Badass is one of my favorite rappers.
Push had a good album, but I only listen to Diet Coke. And that's just because it comes on.
And I listen to Push when I need to be on my bullshit. When somebody gets me mad or I need to get hyped.
And when I listen to
Then
Push, I
Push.
listen to Daytona and I listen to, what's it called? The one with Tyler.
No, but I can't lie. I listened to this last album a lot. Like, if I didn't do my 2022 recap on Apple Music, but if I do that, that's definitely probably like my second or third album on that.
Facts.
And I haven't really I've been on a lot of Jacob Banks shit. You know what I mean? So it's not even I don't even know what category he is.
R&B soul.
R&B soul. So yeah, I've been on Jacob Banks after shout out to Power for putting him on the map.
Yeah, that's a fact. With Monster is like the theme song to that in my head.
That is Goat's theme song.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
that's a fact.
Like if you think of James St. Patrick, you think of that song Monster. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just because all the big moments in that show, it played at the end of that. You know what I mean?
That's a fact.
Like that was the last song of the episode.
That
was the only song. That was the only song that they repeated and played multiple times at the end of the episode.
Yeah, it's a fact. That was a masterpiece. And then I was gonna say though, right now there's I feel like I've been going deeper, further back rather than looking forward.
Yeah.
Because back up to me in 2019, I was waiting for the Survivals. I was waiting for Fab's album. I was waiting for the Kiss album. It was every Styles P album.
I was about to say we were still getting albums from the Locks every other year. So it was.
Then you were getting 38 special albums, El Camino, and
Fred the
Godson.
Godson.
Then he was going.
R.I.P.
Rest in peace to Fred. Was still going, and then all of Griselda was popping off. They had their album together. There was a lot of great hip hop. And my other comparison that I could make, I guess, is just to the classic Empire cycle, where you take the Romans, for example. You go through a time of republic, you fall, become an empire, certified empire, you expand. You go through such a great expansion time, and it's what I would call a hyperinflation time, where your currency becomes nothing. Anything you say in law almost becomes nothing because everybody's corrupt.
Right.
And then all of a sudden this shit just comes fucking crashing down.
So
and of course there's a foothold. There will be a foothold. The Eastern Roman Empire would be the correlation there.
I have an input and it's not to be one of the downers on the internet, but you know how people are saying that Western civilization is falling. Do you think it could just be all the industries that America controls as it is on its way down because people are starting to see the cracks in it and they're paying less, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that's a little more of an elaborate conversation.
No, but it can stay simple because because if it's the music industry is
the issue.
America has a stronghold on the music industry, and that's just a fucking fact.
No, that's a fact.
And it has a stronghold on sports, and it has a stronghold on movies, and we've seen movies the last half decade just be fucking repeat movies that are just ass.
So
fucking barely any new.
Right. So this is my point, though. It's the same thing with hip hop, but my point is that we have the luxury of going back and looking into whatever genre we want in, whether it's classical, jazz,
right, country,
rock and roll, whatever you want. But my point is, my answer to that would be yes on a simple factor. But the issue is there's nothing to replace anything right now. Where do you buy all your shit?
Fuck it.
Amazon, right? Yeah. Amazon sends it to you, but who's the biggest corrupt fucking what's it called? Oh, Amazon is. Okay, so where do you search everything? Google. Who's searching your location at all times?
Has all your info.
Google, right? Yeah. So we've come to these conclusions, but we've done nothing to replace it.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing, like I said, in hip hop. So maybe it's not that the civilization itself is falling, it's actually culture is just dead.
There's just not enough.
There is nothing binding culture together.
Everybody has been so creative the last, I would say, 150 fucking years that it's at the point where it's yo, I don't know where the fuck to go because technology helps me with so much. I don't need to I wouldn't
even say creative. We're always going to be creative. I think it's really innovative.
I should have said that.
We're slowing down innovations. Yes, I agree. Yeah.
Because it's
technology
I don't need to learn a new way to make music because people are using this instrument right now to make music. I'm gonna tap these pads and make a sound, and my rap song is gonna go fire. It's gonna go number one because it sounds like Pop Smoke shit.
Yeah.
And no disrespect to people that, and I'm not shitting on people. It's just I haven't listened to it, so it's I'm sorry, but I'm not because I'm not really interested in that kind.
We are at a point in society where if you take us as a record player, take society as a record player, and you're spinning, the music's playing. But you know when a record player breaks and it kind of just repeats the same line, and it kind of is scratchy, We're right there right now, and we all are calling it music still.
Yeah.
We're just labeling it music.
Yeah. Not everything is rap. A lot of the shit that's being produced is just happens to be noise.
There are literally producers who are doing that. I'm pretty sure they're just trying to mock the game at this point. But
and like I said, I'm so glad that we do know young producers and young people making music that are still pure making great music. You know what I mean? Shout out to Frankie Firm and shout out to anybody in the Web Collective.
Big facts.
Because they're trying to learn this shit, and that's what's really nice seeing it from this side of you, because I'm not doing it, you know what I mean? But I see them learning how to mix and master their own shit without trying to pay $250 to send it to somebody, and then they end up sounding like somebody else's shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because that guy just produces everything, and everything he produced that day, he was producing rap songs that day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He wasn't doing country music, so everything just happened to have the same sounds. You know what I mean?
Same beat patterns and
Yeah.
drum pads.
So if you guys can find this unique group of people that want to make music and test each other and push each other to make things outside of your bubble, I would say that. So you get out of that whole rap isn't a thing now. Because I love rap and it's the best. So.
Oh, I agree. But, you know, in conclusion, the world is falling, as always. That's the conclusion of every podcast, really. But hip-hop is a what's it called to that?
Dying
Evidence of that.
Dying
It's
breed.
you know, it's a fossil of a dying culture. So we'll catch you next time on the Hutt next week. Number 9 will be coming out. As for other content news, we have Tribino Liga this week. Of course, match week 4 coming up, so be sure to check that out. Thursday, we have a nice new slate of games, 10 a.m. Friday, Saturday, always. You know the vibes by now. Next week, we have the last match week right before the playoffs. So if you aren't caught up, be sure to do so. Head over to tribe247.shop for some bags.
Yes, if you have bags, use code GROW3 for 30% off. If there's anything left. There is new stuff coming at the start of March. Stay tuned for all the new merchandise that will be coming out. Appreciate you guys.
Indeed.